Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hello, thank you, welcome, how are you, how was your day? That's great. My name is Freddie Webber and I'm a singer-songwriter and I do the music. But this video is a little bit different because I'm going to be talking about the music, and specifically, as you can probably tell by the thumbnail and the title, is the 5 things that I've learned most from writing one song every day for a week. If you haven't seen that video, there's a link in the description and there'll be a link up on screens. There's 2 videos. There's one video where I'm actually doing the things, so I'm actually writing the songs. The second video is just the songs on their own. And then we have this video, which is the third. Now, before we kick into it, they're not necessarily in order of importance. These are just the 5 things that stood out most from the experience. So let's start with number 1. I've got my notes here. All right, so that's where I'm looking. Okay, number 1, writing songs is easy. Whoa, bold statement, Freddie. Yes, it is, but also no, it isn't. When you or I or any of our heroes have sat down to write a song, in the back of our mind, we want to write a good song. No one wants to write a bad song. But if you just think, I'm going to write a song, regardless of whether it's good or not, it's really easy. So that's what I'm saying. When I sat down to write one song every day, I knew some songs were going to be better than the other because that's just the law of averages, which we'll get to in a minute. That's another point. But if you just think, I'm going to sit down and write a song, it's easy. When you start to care whether it's good or bad, which is completely subjective, then it becomes really difficult. I've heard about writer's block being not that you can't come up with any ideas, it's just you're not happy with any of the ideas. So if you can kind of separate yourself from, is this a good idea or not, and just worry about finding an idea and just working with it and using it, writing songs is easy. I hope that's clear. Point number 2, time restraints are your friend. I have been a victim of this, and maybe you watching this have also been a victim of this, in that sometimes a song can take ages, days, months, weeks, years, primarily because we suffer from the first point in this video, or we suffer from the element that was in the first point, which is caring too much. If you have a time restraint, whether it be an hour, a morning, an afternoon, a day, whatever you have between those posts, you know, between those parameters, that's your song. So I found that paradoxically quite freeing, knowing that, okay, the clock has started. When my time frame finishes, that's what the song is going to be. Caveat for today, obviously you can go back and edit later, but we're just talking about writing the song. So in a weird sort of way, it kind of took the pressure off me by giving myself restraints. Does that make sense? I'm not sure whether it does. I found it very useful, and I think for a goal like this, where there's a certain amount of days and a certain amount of songs has to be written within that time frame, having a time frame really helped. And I think there is definitely magic when you write songs, especially when there's the songs that you're just going about your day and a song falls in your head and you're like, I've got to write this down, I've got to play it. That exists. But if we wait for that every time, we could write one song in, I don't know, a month, 6 months, a year. I don't want to wait around for that. I want that to turn up and I can't wait for it to turn up, but I'm not going to rely on it for that, hence why I'm doing something like this. So a time restraint can help me practice my ability to, when that inspiration doesn't come, I can still have a song. Christ, I hope this makes sense. So, number 3 is a practical thing that I've learned, or that's helped me. All these are things that helped me, and maybe they'll help you. But having prompts, what do I mean by that? I mean having things in the toolbox, in the tool belt, to reach for when we are either stuck at a point, or before we've even got stuck, just to even get started. So something that's quite daunting for a lot of writers is the blank page. Where on earth do I begin? Or holding the guitar and thinking, I don't know where to start. Having something like a capo. I'm just going to randomly put a capo on the guitar and start noodling. Different tunings. I'm going to play around with the tunings and see if inspiration comes that way. I mentioned in the video that I am very lucky to have a few different guitars. So if you have a few different guitars or a few different instruments to just pick up, see if that inspires you. When it comes to lyrics, taking lines from books, opening up to a random page and seeing if anything inspires you. Something I have done since the making of the video was I have made more of an effort to write down random lyrical ideas or concepts, whatever, in my notebook, so that when I go and sit down, if no lyrics initially jump out to me, I can go back through my own notes, as opposed to looking into a book or finding sources from outside. I can see if I can find inspiration from things that I've come up with already, but just stored to one side. So the having prompts really, and in fact, I was so inspired by this week, I didn't end up using all of the prompts that I gave myself. But I think that's really good to also help you break out of doing the same thing every time. If you're going to use the same chords in the same key, the songs are going to sound the same. So having these things, for me, helped me stay inspired. Point number 4, a little bit of a strange one, and I feel like I'm going to need to explain myself with this one, so I'm going to try my best. Number 4 is I found it very inspiring, but I was inspired by myself. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're writing songs and you're a songwriter, you're probably inspired by other songwriters, right? That's probably how we fell into this thing, probably how you got into it. But by being inspired, there comes a point, certainly for me, where you sort of consciously and subconsciously compare yourself to these other songwriters, compare your output, compare your quality, and you can write something and then listen to it and then listen to a song by one of your favorites and think that's terrible. Or you might think, how on earth do they write those songs? How on earth do they come up with that? By grinding down and thinking, I'm going to do this one song every day, and these are the tools I'm going to use, these are my prompts and whatever. The fact that I actually did it, I'm so happy with myself. Now, whether any of these songs go out into the big wide world, I have in fact done 1 or 2 gigs and played some of these songs already. But if I'm ever going to record them properly or make them part of the set properly, I don't know. But I do know that if I set myself the challenge of writing a song, I know that I can do it now. And I find that so, inspiring, that I have the ability to write a song. Good or bad, subjective, let's not get into that. But the fact that I can write a song, I find so inspiring. I hope that made sense. And now we are on to number 5. Like I said, these weren't in any particular order, but I find this one, I want to concentrate on this one for the foreseeable future because I think there's something in it. Number 5, quality is in quantity. I think this one could be quite controversial for a lot of people. Because we are on the precipice, I feel and I find, between the old world and the new world, the pre-internet, post-internet, what it meant to be an artist beforehand, what it means to be an artist now, what it meant to be a songwriter then, what a songwriter, anyway, all of that stuff. But it's a law of averages, right? If you write 100 songs, statistically, some of them are going to be meh, some of them are going to be bad, but some of them are going to be great because you've got so much to pull from. I did 7, and 3 of those 7, I think, okay, yeah, they feel a bit more weightier, they feel a bit more, there's substance in them. Even ones that were at the time, I thought, I don't really like this one, I'm just going to do it because I've set myself the goal, and let's just do it, just go with the flow. Don't think about whether it's good, just do it. And now looking back on it, and from outside sources, like, from friends and family who've gone, yeah, I like that one, I'm like, oh, okay. But if I had not chosen to do 7 songs, and I just sat down to write a song, and I thought, yeah, I would have abandoned it, or not finished. Not finished it is still abandoned, isn't it? I probably wouldn't have followed it through. But because I gave myself the challenge, I pushed through it, finished it, and now it could be a song that I will go on to record. And of course, the more you do it, the more you do anything, the better you'll get at it. So if I write 7 songs, one of those is probably going to be better than the other 6. If I write 14 songs, 2 of them might be really good, and then the rest and so on and so on and so on. Then if I do write 100 songs, right, and 10 of those are great, and I release those 10, people are going to think I'm awesome. But they, the audience won't see those other 90 songs. We'll know they exist, Well, you'll know they exist now. But if you only write 10 songs, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, because I don't know if I know what I'm saying. So, we'll rattle through them once again. Number 1, writing songs is easy. Number 2, time restraints are your friend. Number 3, having prompts is key. Number 4, it can be very, very self-inspirational. Number 5, quality is in quantity. I sincerely hope there was some sort of coherence in that, because I've been babbling and I've done this intro. I did the intro for this like 7, 8 times. I should have written a script. I will get around to writing scripts for these things. But all this to say, I had so much fun, and I got so much from writing these songs every day. Knowing now that I can do it, knowing that some of them might actually be very good, that every time I do, I'm keeping the engine running. I'm staying in tune with that. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The 2 videos that I mentioned at the beginning, where I actually, it's the video of the week, is in the description, and also the video of just the songs. Then you can just watch the songs. Thank you so much for watching this. If you've got this far, thank you so much. Thank you for bearing with me. Subscribe and follow if you feel so inclined. Check the links out below, because I've been releasing music, and I'd love for you to check it out. There isn't one of these 7 songs. There's other songs that were recorded a while back. Please check them out. Follow me on the socials and whatnot, and let me know how you are. I want to know about your songwriting. I want to know how you write songs, if you have problems with it, what helps you. I want to know if you have any tools or any things that you've learned from writing many songs that I haven't mentioned that you think would be helpful. Thank you so much. I love you. Have a wonderful day.